Welcome, students. Today we are going to go through simple harmonic motion in complete detail, covering every concept, every formula, and every type of problem you are likely to encounter in your assignments and examinations. This is a topic that appears intimidating at first, but once you understand the core idea, everything else falls naturally into place. So let us begin from the very beginning and build our understanding step by step. Simple harmonic motion, which we abbreviate as SHM, is a special type of periodic motion. The word periodic simply means that the motion repeats itself after a fixed interval of time, but not all periodic motion is SHM. What makes SHM unique and special is a very specific condition. The restoring force acting on the moving body must be directly proportional to its displacement from the equilibrium position, and this force must always be directed back toward that equilibrium position. In mathematical terms, we write this as F equals negative kx. Here, F is the restoring force, measured in newtons, x is the displacement of the body from its mean position, measured in meters, and k is a constant called the spring constant, or force constant, measured in newtons per meter. The negative sign in this equation is not just a formality. It carries deep physical meaning. It tells us that whenever the body moves away from its equilibrium position in one direction, the force acts in the opposite direction, pulling or pushing the body back. This is the restoring nature of SHM. Think about some everyday examples to get an intuitive feel for this. When you pull a pendulum to one side and release it, it swings back to the center and then continues to the other side before returning again. When you stretch a spring attached to a block and let go, the block rushes back toward the center, passes through it, compresses the spring on the other side, and comes back again. When you pluck a guitar string, it vibrates rapidly about its rest position. All of these are examples of SHM, or motion that closely approximates SHM. The underlying physics in all these cases is the same restoring force proportional to displacement. Before going into the mathematics, we need to clearly define the key terms used in SHM. Displacement is the distance of the oscillating particle from its equilibrium or mean position at any given instant, and it can be positive or negative depending on the direction. Amplitude is the maximum displacement from the equilibrium position, always taken as a positive value, and it represents how far the body swings or vibrates at its most extreme point. Time period, usually denoted by t, is the time taken by the body to complete one full oscillation, meaning it starts from some position, goes all the way to one extreme, comes back through the center, reaches the other extreme, and returns to the starting position. This complete round trip constitutes one oscillation. Frequency, denoted by F, is the number of complete oscillations the body makes in 1 second, and it is measured in hertz. Time period and frequency are reciprocals of each other, so t equals 1 over f, and f equals 1 over t. If a pendulum completes 5 oscillations in 10 seconds, its frequency is 0.5 hertz, and its time period is 2 seconds. Angular frequency, denoted by the Greek letter omega, is related to frequency by the equation omega equals 2 pi times f. It is measured in radians per second and represents how quickly the phase of the oscillation is changing. The phase of an oscillation describes the state of the motion at any given instant, telling us not just where the particle is, but which direction it is moving. Now, let us build the complete mathematical picture of SHM. The displacement of a particle undergoing SHM at any time t is given by x equals a times the sine of the quantity omega t plus phi, where a is the amplitude, omega is the angular frequency, and phi is the initial phase, which accounts for the position and direction of the particle at time 0. If the particle starts at the mean position, moving in the positive direction at t equals 0, then phi is 0, and the equation simplifies to x equals a sine omega t. If instead the particle starts at the maximum positive displacement at t equals 0, then we use x equals a cosine omega t. Both forms are equally valid. The choice depends on the initial conditions of the problem. It is very important to understand that this sinusoidal equation is not just a convenient formula we pulled from nowhere. It is the actual solution to Newton's second law applied to a restoring force of the form F equals negative kx. When you write ma equals negative kx, which is the same as m times the second derivative of x with respect to time equals negative kx, the mathematical solution to this differential equation is precisely the sinusoidal function we wrote above. This is why SHM has such clean and elegant mathematics. The velocity of the particle at any time t is obtained by differentiating the displacement with respect to time. If x equals a sine omega t, then v equals dx over dt equals a omega cosine omega t. Notice that when the displacement is 0, meaning the particle is at the mean position, the cosine term equals 1 and the velocity is at its maximum value of a omega. Conversely, when the displacement is at its maximum value of a, the cosine term is 0 and the velocity is 0. This makes physical sense. As the particle approaches the extreme position, it slows down, comes momentarily to rest, then reverses direction. We can also express velocity directly in terms of displacement without involving time at all, using the formula v equals omega times the square root of a squared minus x squared. This formula is extremely useful for assignment problems where you are given the displacement and asked to find the velocity. The acceleration of the particle is obtained by differentiating the velocity with respect to time. Starting from v equals a omega cosine omega t, we get a equals negative a omega squared sine omega t. Since x equals a sine omega t, we can write this as a equals negative omega squared times x. This is one of the most important results in all of SHM. The acceleration is proportional to the displacement, negative, and directed back toward the equilibrium, which is precisely the definition of SHM we started with. The maximum acceleration occurs at the extreme positions, where x equals plus or minus a, and equals omega squared times a in magnitude. At the mean position, where x equals 0, the acceleration is 0. So in SHM, velocity is maximum where acceleration is 0, and acceleration is maximum where velocity is 0. These two quantities are always perfectly out of step with each other. The angular frequency omega is connected to the physical properties of the system. For a mass m attached to a spring of spring constant k, Newton's second law gives us omega equals the square root of k over m. From this, the time period is t equals 2 pi divided by omega, which gives us t equals 2 pi times the square root of m over k. The frequency is f equals 1 over 2 pi times the square root of m over k. These formulas tell us something fundamentally important about SHM. The time period depends only on the mass and the spring constant. It does not depend on the amplitude. This beautiful property is called isochronism, meaning equal time. No matter how far you pull the spring or how gently you displace it, as long as the motion is SHM, each oscillation takes exactly the same amount of time. This is why pendulum clocks are so reliable. Their swing period stays constant no matter how wide or narrow the pendulum swings. Now, let us talk about energy in SHM, which is another heavily tested section in assignments. In SHM, energy continuously converts between kinetic and potential forms, but the total mechanical energy stays constant throughout the motion. The kinetic energy at any displacement x is given by 1/2 times m times v squared, which using our velocity formula becomes 1/2 times m times omega squared times the quantity a squared minus x squared. At the mean position, where x equals 0, the kinetic energy is at its maximum and equals 1/2 m omega squared a squared. At the extreme positions, where x equals plus or minus a, the kinetic energy is 0 because the particle is momentarily at rest. The potential energy stored in the spring at displacement x is given by 1/2 times k times x squared, which we can also write as 1/2 times m times omega squared times x squared. At the mean position, where x is 0, the potential energy is 0. At the extreme positions, the potential energy is at its maximum and equals 1/2 m omega squared a squared. If you add the kinetic energy and the potential energy at any position x, something remarkable happens. The two expressions combine to give 1/2 m omega squared a squared, which is a constant that does not depend on x at all. This constant is the total mechanical energy of the system, so at any point in the oscillation, the sum of kinetic and potential energies always equals 1/2 m omega squared a squared, which is the same as 1/2 ka squared. Energy is conserved throughout. The energy simply sloshes back and forth between kinetic and potential forms with every half oscillation, but the total never changes as long as there is no damping or friction. The spring mass system is the most foundational example of SHM, and you must be completely comfortable with it. In a horizontal spring mass system, a block of mass m sits on a frictionless surface and is connected to a spring of spring constant k.